Valentine's Day is next week. You know the drill. You could spend $80 on an a la carte menu where the tables are too close together and the steak is mid, or you could stay home, grab a pizza, the kind with the stuffed crust you both like, and actually enjoy each other's company without the performative candlelit nonsense. But here's the problem. Most couples games lists are a trap. They recommend stuff like Overcooked, which is basically a stress testing simulator for your nervous system. You start the night wanting a cute date, and end it screaming about unwashed plates while the kitchen is literally on fire. That's not a hobby, that's a domestic dispute with better graphics. I spent a lot of time looking at what actually works for people who want to play together without needing a mediator afterward. We're talking about games that don't just sit you in the same room, but actually require you to talk like adults. This isn't a list of whimsical adventures, it's a practical guide to games that respect your time and your relationship. We're covering everything from Stone Age farming to asymmetrical puzzles that'll force you to describe things better than the clicky doohickey on the left. I'm not here to tell you that gaming will solve your problems, but it's a hell of a lot cheaper than couples therapy, and honestly, seeing how your partner reacts when a goose steals their shoes tells you more about their character than a dozen fancy dinners ever could. So let's get into it. 10 games that won't end in a breakup, let's save your weekend, and maybe your relationship too. If you appreciate that I skipped the 2-minute emotional backstory and got straight to the point, hit the like button. It helps the algorithm find other couples who need to save $80 this weekend. Everyone compares this to Stardew Valley. I get it, I've put hundreds of hours into Stardew, but here's the cold truth, Stardew wasn't built for multiplayer, it was added later. You end up with 2 people playing a single player game in the same room, you're watering pumpkins there in the mines, and you haven't seen each other in 3 in-game days. Roots of Pacha is different. It's Stone Age farming, sure, but the co-op is baked into the foundation. It feels necessary. Take the caves for example, in other farm sims the mines are a solo combat slog, here the caves are puzzle rooms. You literally need 2 people. One of you stands on a pressure plate or holds a mirror to reflect light, while the other navigates the path. You have to coordinate, and you actually have to speak to each other. The progression system is different too. You aren't just hoarding gold to buy seeds from a corporation, you're contributing to a clan. You discover ideas. One of you comes up with the concept for a smoker or an irrigation trench, and then you both work to build it. It feels like you're building a civilization, not just optimizing a spreadsheet. Plus there's no combat. If your partner gets stressed out by health bars or dying in the mines, this removes that friction entirely. You can just vibe, ride a mammoth, or domesticate a buffalo. It fixes the biggest issue with the genre, sync. In Pacha, cutscenes are shared, you don't miss out on half the story just because you were busy fishing while your partner triggered an event in the town square. If you want a farming sim where you actually play together, building a hut, taming wolves and inventing cheese, this is the one. I almost didn't put this on the list because it's obvious, but if I leave it off, the comment section would probably roast me. So let's get this one out of the way. It Takes Two is the gold standard. If you haven't played it, honestly, stop watching this video, go buy it, play it, then come back. The genius here is the pacing. Most co-op games pick one mechanic and run it into the ground. It Takes Two has the attention span of a squirrel on espresso. 1 minute you're playing a third-person shooter, the next it's a dungeon crawler, then a flight sim, then a rhythm game. You never get bored, and you never get a chance to check your phone. And you cannot solo this game. The screen is always split, you have to communicate constantly, I'll lift this platform, you shoot the switch, cover me while I grind this rail. It forces you into a rhythm with your partner, and also a massive pro tip, only one of you needs to buy it. The Friends Pass lets a second player join for free, and that is a feature more studios need to steal. Now a warning, the story is about a couple on the brink of divorce, it's heavy, and the parents, Cody and May, can be kind of annoying. They bicker. A lot. And there is a specific scene involving a stuffed elephant that might actually traumatize you, but the gameplay is so good that you forgive the weird writing. It's a masterclass in level design, just push through the dialogue and enjoy the ride. Let's bring the energy down. Maybe you don't want to solve complex puzzles or fight boss battles, maybe you're tired, you just got home from work, your brain is fried, and you want something visually stunning that won't ask too much of you. Blanc is short. You can beat it in a single evening, maybe 2 or 3 hours tops. It's hand-drawn, strictly black and white, and tells a story of a wolf cub and a fawn lost in a snowstorm. No text, no dialogue, just noises and gestures. This makes it incredibly accessible if your partner isn't a gamer who wants to read lore entries or manage an inventory. The gameplay is asymmetrical but simple. One of you is the wolf, small and able to squeeze into tight spots or pull things with your teeth. The other is the fawn, taller and able to jump higher or push heavy objects. You have to help each other navigate the terrain. It's not a difficult game. You aren't going to get stuck on a puzzle for 45 minutes and get into an argument about who's holding the controller wrong. It flows. It's more of an interactive storybook than a game, and it's emotional. It plays the sad animal card pretty hard, but sometimes that's what you need. A quiet night, a blanket, and a game that looks like a sketchpad come to life. Just be ready to feel something by the end of it. And by the way, I cover cozy games that don't suck every single week. If you want to build a library of games you'll actually play instead of just buying them on sale and forgetting them, hit subscribe. It's free, unlike that dinner you're planning. I know I bashed Overcooked in the intro, I stand by that, but PlateUp is different. It scratches that same chaotic kitchen itch without making you hate your partner. Why? Because this isn't just an action game, it's a management roguelite. In Overcooked, the difficulty comes from the level design fighting you, ice physics, moving trucks, rats stealing food. In PlateUp, the difficulty is your own ambition. You design the restaurant, you pick where the stove goes, you decide if you want to sell pizza or salads. If the kitchen layout sucks, that's on you. You can't blame the game. The real magic happens after day 3 or 4. You start unlocking blueprints, conveyor belts, auto mixers, dishwashing robots. You stop playing cook and start playing engineer. This changes the conversation. Instead of screaming, wash the dishes, you're saying, okay, if we move the sink here and add a grabber, we can automate the dirty plates. It becomes a logic puzzle you solve together. You will lose a lot. It's a roguelite. You'll build a franchise, get overwhelmed by a lunch rush and shut down, but then you start over with new knowledge. It allows for distinct roles too. Maybe one of you is the head chef handling the grill, and the other is front of house handling customers and coffee. Or maybe you build a system so efficient, you just stand there and watch the money roll in. It turns a stressful concept into a strategic one. Most video game romance is painful to watch. It's usually some silent protagonist giving gifts to an NPC until a heart meter fills up. That's not a relationship, that's a vending machine. Haven is the antidote to that. You play as U and K, a couple who already escaped their society to be together on a forgotten planet. The getting together part is done. This game is about the staying together part. The dialogue is shockingly realistic. They don't speak in grand poetic declarations, they argue about what to eat. They complain about who left their socks on the floor, they talk about being hungry or horny or tired. It feels like a real lived-in relationship. The gameplay is a mix of exploration and light RPG combat. You glide around the planet, which feels incredible by the way, cleaning up this corrupted rust called flow. It's satisfying in a power washing simulator kind of way. Combat requires synchronization. You have to charge your attacks at the same time to do massive damage or shield each other when an enemy strikes. It's not hard, but it requires rhythm. It's not a perfect game by any means, the pacing can drag in the middle, and the fetch quests get repetitive, but if you want a story that actually respects the complexity of living with another person, this is it. It's chill, the soundtrack is a banger, and you can play it while holding hands. Okay, that was a little sappy, ignore that. You need both hands for the controller. Okay, remember how I said I wouldn't include games that cause breakups? I lied. Just a little bit. Bread and Fred is the exception. If you survive this, you should probably get married. This is a precision platformer. Think Getting Over It or Celeste, but co-op. You play as 2 penguins tied together by a short rope. The physics are heavy, cruel even. You have to use momentum to swing your partner up to a ledge, then they have to anchor themselves so you can climb up after them. The catch, you have to count down 3, 2, 1, jump. If one of you jumps a split second too late, you both fall, and when you fall in this game, you fall far. You can lose 20 minutes of progress in 5 seconds because someone got an itchy thumb. Why play this? because when you actually nail a swing, it feels amazing. It's high risk, high reward dopamine. It forces you to be in total sync. There's also a crying button. You can literally make your penguin cry when you're frustrated, and it's genuinely hilarious. If you have a short temper, skip this. Seriously. But if you can laugh at failure and you want a game that tests your communication under pressure, give it a shot. Just maybe agree on a safe word beforehand for when you need to rage quit. And if you're watching this on the mobile app right now, do me a solid and hit the hype button. It basically tells the YouTube robot that this video isn't trash, and I appreciate it. Let's talk budget. Dates are expensive, and this game is free. Not free to start, but you need to pay to win, just actually free. It's from the people who made Journey, so if you know that game, you know the vibe, and it is pure atmosphere. The mechanics are simple. You fly around, you light candles, you free spirits, but the killer feature for couples is the hold hands mechanic. One player can initiate a handhold and then lead the other player. This is a godsend if one of you is better at navigating 3D spaces than the other. If your partner gets lost easily or struggles with camera controls, you just grab their hand and pull them along. No frustration, no where did you go arguments. It's low stakes, you can't game over, you just explore. It's on everything, Switch, PlayStation, PC, even your phone, you can crossplay. So if you only have one console, the other person can jump on their iPad. It's the closest you can get to a digital date where you just walk around a park holding hands, except the park is in the clouds, and you can fly. Sometimes you don't want to build a farm, sometimes you want to choose violence. Untitled Goose Game lets you do that. You are a goose, your partner is a goose, your mission is to make life miserable for a lovely British village. The co-op update changed the dynamic completely. In single player, it's a stealth puzzle game. In co-op, it's a heist. One of you honks at the gardener to distract him, while the other sneaks behind to steal his keys. It turns you into a crime duo. It reveals a lot about your partner. Watch how much joy they take in stealing a child's glasses and throwing them in a well. It's concerning, but also hilarious. There is also a dedicated honk button. You will spam it, you will annoy each other. But because the stakes are so low, worst case scenario, a lady shoos you away with a broom, it never gets heated. It's just pure, unadulterated mischief. If you've had a stressful week at work, being a chaotic goose is cheaper than a rage room. This one is for the puzzle nerds. It comes from the Rusty Lake universe, which means it's weird, creepy weird. Cubes, shadows, strange machinery. If you like escape room movies, this is your jam. Here's the hook, it's asymmetrical. One of you is in the past, playing a 2D point-and-click interface. The other is in the future, usually interacting with a 3D environment. You literally cannot see what the other person sees. You can play this on 2 laptops or a Switch and a phone or 2 tablets. You don't even need an internet connection, you just need to be able to talk to each other. I see a clock set to 3:15, okay, I'm setting my clock to 3:15, a drawer just opened, there's a key. It forces you to articulate. You can't just say, look at that thing, you have to describe the thing. It's a communication exercise disguised as a spooky game. It's short, maybe 2 hours, so it doesn't overstay its welcome. Just make sure you're both in the right headspace with some mild creepiness. We've got one game left, and it's the big one, but first, if you want to support honest reviews that don't just read the press release, consider hitting the join button. You get a badge, you get to support the channel directly, and it costs less than a latte. Okay, let's talk about death. We're ending with the heavy hitter. Spiritfarer is a cozy management game about dying. You play as Stella, a ferry master for the deceased. You build a boat, explore islands, cook food, and help spirits accept their death so they can move on. In co-op, player 2 is Daffodil the cat. This is brilliant for skill gaps. Daffodil can do almost everything Stella can, chop wood, fish, run errands, but the camera follows Stella. If the second player puts the controller down or gets stuck, they just magically poof back to Stella's side. It's the perfect little brother mode that actually feels respectful. But be warned, you will get attached to the NPCs, they are written with incredible depth. And then you have to take them to the Evidor and say goodbye. It is gut-wrenching. I'm a grown man, and this game made me cry multiple times. Don't play this if you're looking for a mindless distraction. Play this if you want to experience a beautiful, sad, hopeful story together. It's a long game, 30 to 40 hours, so it's a commitment, but it's worth every second. So there you have it. 10 games, 0 excuses to be bored next weekend. Look, the point of this isn't to be good at the games. You're gonna drop the penguin, you're gonna burn the pizza and PlateUp, you're gonna get lost in Sky, and that's fine. The goal isn't to clear the leaderboard, it's actually to do something together that isn't doom scrolling on TikTok while sitting on opposite ends of the couch. Save the $80 you'd spend on an overpriced dinner, buy a game, order takeout, and try not to yell at each other. Let me know in the comments which one you're picking up, or if you think your relationship is truly bulletproof, go ahead and try Overcooked. Just don't blame me when you're sleeping in the spare room. Like the video if it saved your wallet, and I'll see you in the next one.